Spawning in the bottom left position of the map that is Kespa's Neoplanet S is our blue Terran from Team Acer.MMA. And spawning in the top right position as our red Zerg player, also from Team Acer, it is Bly. So, Neoplanet TvZ. Honestly, nothing terribly unusual about this map for Terran versus Zerg. The only thing to really note is what's really obvious, and that's, it's not, your third base isn't quite as easy to take as a map like Cloud Kingdom. There's a fair amount of distance between the third and the natural, requiring a good amount of creep spread, really, before you can bring queens there. This base is also an option for a third, but requires about an equivalent amount, so it's not an easy base to take. It can be, the third base is usually open a bit more to aggressive styles, but it's not that you can't fast expand or anything on it. The map size is also pretty decent. We've seen some interesting builds, but MMA's SCVs actually get spotted by this Overlord. It looks like he could be going for another 2 racks play, and I'm curious where he's going to build them. This is a really interesting position. The farther away he puts them, the more awkward. Is he going to try to float them in or something? This is really far away. He's going to proxy the 2 racks in 2 different locations. There's already a drone going hunting for MMA's SCV. Its scouting path will actually not find it, so maybe he could reverse mind game and be like, well, and Bly will think, well, maybe he saw my Overlord, so he's not going to build it. He's looking around for it, though. Will the drone see it? It's barely out of vision. There he goes. He sees the barracks. He's going to try to poke away at this SCV. Might be able to force it to cancel. This is going to be huge. MMA is going to try to just micro his SCV around, try to finish this barracks. He's going to do his absolute best to, but the SCV is still, I think, vulnerable in this position. He's going to try to go around again. No, it has no health. The SCV dies. Oh, my goodness. The drone steals a kill. There's already another SCV on the way, though. Try to fix this. And I think at this point, this is actually looking really scary because MMA, his first Marine is going to be so delayed. His bunker is so delayed. Keep in mind, an orbital command is going to be super delayed. So the mule economy delayed. Everything. Having your first barracks shut down like this is huge. Now second drone being pulled to try to make sure that this SCV can't finish this barracks. If he kills this SCV, I don't even know what'll happen. But it looks like the SCV jukes out that drone. Barracks is done. But these 2 drones might be ready to just try to pick off whatever comes out of this. We have Marine on the way. The second barracks completed as well. So this is a bit of a dicey situation to be in. 2 drones already just following this SCV. So MMA's first Marine is out. He's going to try to poke away at this Overlord. Not going to be able to steal anything quite yet. We have 6 Zerglings on the way for our Zerg players. So he's going to try to overrun this force. No Spine Crawler. Okay, there we actually go. Spine Crawler right now in the mineral line of the National. So he's not taking any chances. MMA... His first bunker is actually really far out. He's going to try to do this slowly. Slowly but surely, methodically. As the tortoise to the hare, one could say. But MMA should try to get another bunker. There we go. 1 in range of the hatchery is what's most important. But there's actually a lot of Zerglings here. I feel like Bly could just take these 3 Marines, in all honesty. But he's playing really conservatively. He wants to make sure that... basically what Bly is going to do is this Spine Crawler will finish... He's going to lift the Spine Crawler and then just plop it right in front of the bunker and move all of his Zerglings in at the same time. And there we go. The Spine Crawler's going in, and now the Zerglings should come forward, but no, he's actually going to keep him back. Queen is out, though. He could pick off this SCV building this bunker. That'd be huge. No, he cancels the bunker in the back. And, well, this Spine's not actually in range. MMA just... I feel like he should pull another SCV. There we go. Another SCV is coming to help repair. This Queen can actually hit the bunker from the high ground, though. That's a really important thing to note. MMA is actually in a lot of trouble. He's going to lose this SCV as well. The Queens were able to snipe them, so this is really scary. He's going to try. He wants to just focus down this hatchery. That's what's most important. As you guys saw in game number 1, MMA was able to win just by killing the hatchery and retreating. But now these Marines are here. Even with the extra SCV to repair, he's going to have to give that bunker up. If he can finish this one, he's going to be in a much better position because he's pulled now even more SCVs. These SCVs can actually indefinitely hold versus this, and this hatchery is going to die. Bly, I mean, I think when he plopped down the first Spine Crawler, he should have tried to bum rush at that point and maybe put the Spine Crawler up another hex. But now there's 2 spines. I actually don't even know if this one's in range. This one should be, but MMA did everything that he needed to do. However, he pulled a lot of SCVs, but he's already got 15. He's got saturation here. He started a command center at his natural expansion, and basically, he's just containing Bly right now. Bly chose not to open with any really fast gas, so he's only just started mining it. He's far away from Zergling speed, far away from Banelings, and right now, we can just repair this bunker for about 5,000 years and hold off this base. So I like this. It's really nice. And this Overlord actually getting almost caught here. He might try to run these Marines up and just catch that. That's actually really huge. He's not supply blocked, but that's resources he just can't afford to be losing right now. MMA just needs to make sure that his follow-up is smart. He's going to move into double gas play, and basically he just needs to get out Hellions, and he should be able to hold off most of what Bly can do. One base Roach pushes, not so great against Marines. Hellions are also pretty solid for stopping any kind of Baneling or Zergling counterattacks. And here we have Zergling speed is on the way. But there's so many Marines here. Hatchery's going to be started up again. MMA, I don't think he's going to be able to dive that, in all honesty. Another Spinecrawler was built and is being moved down towards the natural. This Spinecrawler actually losing creep. It's actually starting to hurt, starting to die. Needs to be mindful of this. He's going to try to move his Marines up. Wanted to see if he can maybe snipe that. Says no. The thing is, MMA overcommits on any kind of poke here. And Bly kills his Marines. A counterattack can be really scary with Zergling speed wrapping up, but 3 Spinecrawlers is quite a bit of investment, and oh my goodness, we're almost losing a third of the health on this Spinecrawler. It's almost, yeah, man, it's lost 100 hit points just from not having creep. I feel like, okay, this creep tumor should alleviate that issue. It should go far enough to fix this. It's like what I'm #1 focused on, like the Spinecrawler gonna die? No, okay, so he lifts it up. He's like, man, I lost half the hit points on it. I'm gonna step it up now. But Lair's on the way, Zergling speed as well. No Roachborn or Baneling Nest, so I wonder what Bly's trying to do here, because on 1 base economy, basically, with all these Zerglings, his options are kind of limited. He could try to go Infestors and really just drag this game out. I don't think he can afford to go Mutalisks. And he doesn't have any upgrades, so I really wonder what he wants to do with the Lair. It might be Nidus play, but it might actually be reasonable just because there's no units at home for MMA. But Double Evolution Chamber is going to start. So we're going to have to see what he wants to do. I'm not so certain. Now these Zerglings are actually just going to run towards MMA's base. He may not have been anticipating this. The Zerglings are going to get to his main way before the Marines do. So MMA is actually going to lose probably all the SCVs here. He should just move them all into his main base. In all honesty, just lift that depot wall. But he's doing it a little bit too late. No, he missed. Okay, so he's going to sacrifice the SCVs, allows them to die. And that's really what that's exactly what he should have done. We have, what do I see in the production tab? What? We have 3 starports being made by MMA. Ladies and gentlemen, this just got real. MMA going for the triple starport Banshee, completely overrun and smash you down build. This is not something pretty much ever used. I wish he would have made a 4th starport just for my own personal satisfaction, but going 3-port is going to allow him to actually get Cloak with this if he desires. The Lair is out, so it doesn't matter. But he's basically kind of, maybe he just anticipates, you know what, Bly never goes Mutalisks. I'm ahead. I'm just going to kill him with Mass Banshee, you know, just do it for the lulz. And that seems like we could be seeing here. No Cloak started, so he's just going to go pure Banshee and just basically just bowl over whatever he has. It almost feels like a manner play at this point with how ahead he is. He's going to get Cloak, actually, so... And he had the resources. You can afford, on 2 bases, you can actually afford about 4 starports. You can afford 4 starports of production at a time. But he's going for 3 so that he can afford Cloak. And I love this. I love this a lot, actually. This is something that I personally do. Usually I go 4-port, but pretty sick build decision out of MMA, recognizing his position in the game. And honestly, Queens, it actually takes 4 Banshees will 2-shot a Queen. So it only takes 2 volleys from 4 Banshees to kill a Queen. So once this Banshee number starts to snowball, they can really start hemming away at these Queens. And without any Spore Crawlers set up right now, this is going to be huge. And it's really, really scary, because once you go for this number of Banshees, you can just really blow things away. I think it either takes 8 or 4 Banshees, about like 5 full volleys to kill a Spore Crawler. So once you get a high enough number of those, you can start picking away. So of course that means the 2 Banshees can take out a Queen in about 4 volleys. So he's starting to poke away here. Spore Crawler is going to get started, but this Queen is no match for the Banshees. It's actually going to kill this Spore before it finishes, and this 3rd base is basically forfeit. There's no Spire. He's kind of realizing, oh my goodness, where do these Banshees come from? 2 more are on the way to that center area. 1 is coming in through the right. This is the full metal air build. He's just going crazy with this blue flame. I love this. The Hellion Banshee. Oh my goodness, being taken to a massive level. I really feel like he should tag the Banshees to at least to this 3rd. Make sure this 3rd base dies. All he needs to do is split the Banshees, and the Infestor's Fungal Growth, not going to be the most effective thing in the universe versus it. So Of course, Zergling counterattacks will be mitigated by the fact that he's researching Blue Flame. But if he just splits the Banshees, he's fine. That's all he needs to do. There's a lot of Infestors, though. So, I mean, Fungal Growth can shut them down pretty hard. The Queen count's getting a bit high, but all he needs to do is just wait for more Banshees. Just build the Banshee count up, and then he should be able to just blow through any number. That, keep in mind, also means that 8 Banshees, 1 shot a Queen. So once MMA gets enough Banshees, he is going to be able to just basically mow them down before they can use Transfuses. So I really like this a lot from MMA. He's going to move into mech behind this. He's getting additional factories. He's going to move the starports off the tech lab. So his Banshee harass is basically done, but he's doing quite a bit of damage. And really, the other awesome thing is if he moves them forward single file, he can actually try to poke away at these Infestors. And this gives him a lot of options for harassing, a bit of micro. And, well, going mech behind this is a great decision because he also is already prepared to deal with any kind of Broodlord play later on, which Bly pretty much won the last game with. So this is pretty intense here. MMA also getting a bunch more command centers. The cool thing about opening with this Banshee style is it takes so long to build that it allows you to build up money to make other mech investments as such. So the Banshees, I wasn't sure, actually just got a nice fungal growth on them. No, he pulls actually the weak ones back to repair, so very wise of MMA. And he's just letting them poke forward, and that's it. Of course, Infestors can't shoot up. He's not going Roach Hydra. He's getting a Spire, which is kind of hilarious, so we might see him make some Corruptors or Mutalisks. Most likely going to be Mutalisks, but he's actually using his lair to research burrows, so he can't go into Hive just yet. Might see him start it soon. But he's forced an interesting reaction. I think all MMA needs to do now is switch into Thors, but he actually doesn't have any armories. He's just starting them now, so Mutalisks could come out right this second and might be able to do actually a good amount of damage. I wonder what Bly's going to do. He has a lot of gas banked up, so he can make 14 Mutalisks, and it looks like that's what he can do. We have 12 Mutas on the way. He could make a couple more. He has the resources to, but he's just going to cut back now, get his Overlord speed. This could actually really catch MMA off guard, but he's got missile turrets in the center of the field with his mech army. Not a lot, but he has a bunk. I don't know, actually. The anti-air seems a little bit lackluster. Now he's going to get some missile turrets. He actually scans, sees the Spire, and he's like, okay, well, I'm just going to build missile turrets everywhere, and I'm going to be untouchable because I have a Banshee, tank, Death Ball. Your Roaches, if you decided to make Roaches, you would not be able to do anything versus this, so I absolutely love this build from MMA. Moving into triple Thor production, and this is all he needs. Just make a bunch of Thors, and he has such a big supply lead as a meching Terran. This is awesome for him. But the Mutalisk coming in, he finds a weak point. MMA's third mineral line, picks off a couple of SCVs, gets that gas mining, and that's so important for MMA. Shuts down this missile turret from being produced. He's going to move into the main base. The factories and the starports are unprotected. The main base is open. It's bare, naked, and these SCVs are just laying across it for the Mutalisks to take. And now they're dying in rather high numbers. He's not able to mine out of the main base, so nice little bit of micro. He's making the best out of the situation. He's at right now about 11 Mutalisks, so he's only lost 1. Now he's losing a couple more. Maybe a bit cost ineffective. This Vikings can actually peel away the very weak Mutalisks. And now the Thor's out. More Mutas die. He did some damage, but it's just not quite enough. There are Infestors poised outside, but there's missile turret here. There's Ravens. The Changelings were shut down as well. This Banshee might die a horrible, painful death. No, Cloak, run! Yes! She's gonna make it away. Sorry, that was like really high. I mean, did you imagine that? It's like the very last possible moment. Overlord speed is actually done. It moves at the same speed as the Banshee. No, it stopped moving. Oh man, that could have been a great chase scene, but it was not meant to be. He's not going to do anything with these Burrow Infestors, and he got lucky with them in the last couple games that MMA didn't have any detection set up to deal with this kind of harass. So he's definitely got an advantage now, especially with Ravens being a part of this army. If he moves out, he needs to make sure he brings the Ravens with him. He's stepping over here. These Infestors could actually just throw Infested Terrans around and catch this very small chunk of mech army right now. Bly had his Infestors selected. He was considering it, realized maybe not the best idea. And these Mutalisks are actually going to catch this orbital on the bottom right side. The mech army is slow. It is powerful, but very slow. So actually moving in to kill this command center to save it is going to be hard. The Mutalisk count is low, though. He doesn't have any upgrades for it. Keep in mind a couple of other things. The lair is done. The hive is done. We have 2 macro hatches inside the main base, so there's a ton of unit producing options for Bly. He has a good amount of money now, but he may just be waiting for this Baneling Nest to finish. He might try to do a huge Baneling bust on this. The Infestors throw their payloads everywhere, trying to break this front line. The Banshee's cloak start to pick away at them. The Infestors didn't make it into the main base, though, so they kind of sacrificed themselves, I think, to do that. But, well, most of them actually got away. So really nice catch there by Bly. But he needs the Infestors with his main army to help deal with this. He's making a bunch of Banelings, and with the way that this composition for Zerg works is, when you go for Banelings versus Mech, your whole entire goal is to just completely overwhelm the mech force before they can siege up. Things to note, guys, a Zerg, when it comes to Banelings, if a Baneling hits 3 units or more, it is always cost effective. So the Raiden gonna Seeker Missile the Banelings! Oh my goodness, picks off a couple of them. There's a nice another pack here. Another oh my god, no, a huge number of Banelings dying, so really great catch here. Seeker Missiling the Banelings, absolutely awesome use of that not needing to research Seeker Missile. If he splits up his Thors, he should also be fine. There's a good number of Blue Flame Hellions here. He actually has all the Marines he made earlier on here to supplement this force. And, well, these Banshees are just having a field day poking away. He can focus fire down the Banelings, pick up all the expensive units, and I don't think Bly has what it takes to shut down this mech force of MMA crashing through the natural expansion. He's going to go for another big Zergling, Baneling base trade. He's building old Broodlords right now, but Thor is much more effective versus them, especially with the fungal growth. So I'm curious how this is going to pan out. He's got the tanks on the high ground. Needs to lift that depot. Barely gets it up in time. He's going to siege the tanks. Needs to have these SCVs repair. There's a ton of Banelings, but the tanks kill almost all of them. Not able to break down that wall with the Banelings. The Zerglings, though, should be able to bust through due to the tank splash damage. SCVs are going to try to repair. One of them getting pretty low, but a Hellion shows up, and it looks like MMA may have done it, guys. He has completely crippled the economy of Bly. The third base still barely mining. The Banshees were there. He's going to move his mech force up. He should just pick this base off. He doesn't quite have any Vikings to deal with the Broodlords, but Thors do quite well against them head-to-head without any support. So, but MMA, he's fine. He's up almost 100 supplies. Zerglings hit the third base, but there's Marines in a bunker here to deal with this. MMA still poking with these Banshees. The third base is dead. The Corruptor's trying to kill it, but they don't do any bonus damage versus Banshees, of course. Silly goose. Zergling's poking away. The whole army was brought back to kill a Zergling. MMA says, you know what, let's leave it there. You can have it. He's just not even going to bother with it. A bunch of drones misclicked over to that top left base. The 2 Banshees are going to roll on up and should be able to deal a lot of damage to that. And it looks like Bly is going to try to make his final push here. He kind of recognizes that this is not like game number, was it game number 4, our previous game that we just played. He's not going to be able to just choke his opponent out. MMA has economy. MMA has income, and they also has a very, very powerful army that is much stronger than his. And now with the Viking count increasing, and all these drones are going to die. The Blue Flame Hellions coming in, destroying, ravaging this mineral line, left completely unprotected. This poor force. And the Zerglings are going to come in here, but the Hellions getting a nice choke behind the mineral line. They're going to poke away a lot of these Zerglings. And I think MMA's pretty much locked this game down. There's no economy really at all anymore. All Bly has are his main. There is a total of 40 minerals and 50. So this is pretty much the last number of units that Bly can put out. And he's just going to turtle up. And, you know, he's out. This is the playoffs, guys. This is the final game. Bly cannot afford to lose this game. And he's staying in here just trying to find a way. He doesn't want his tournament life to be over. But this is such a difficult position to be in. I don't quite know. There's just a G from Bly. Gives up and wins this best of 5 series versus Bly. Really great control. And I have to say, that 2 racks, that's a second game in a row. That's not the second game in a row. That's the second game this series. Both times MMA went for the 2 racks, the SCV was scouted building the very first barracks. He got scouted both games, and he still killed the hatchery. He still got himself into a crazy awesome position. MMA he's just a monster, guys. But very well played. We'll get you guys into the next best of 5 as soon as we can. It is going to be Empire's Cost versus VP BenQ's Slivko. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be another TvZ. This should be really awesome to watch. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be back with this as soon as possible.